Okay, so to follow up the video I just made, some of you guys were asking me, like, how am I staying sober now? And I guess, I moved and I kind of learned, like, you know, like I said in the last video, I did, like, Keppers, like, a couple times in there, which is, like, nothing, really, and then, Plain, like, twice. And I don't know, I just, for, like, the time I was in there, like, that's not a lot, and I really never did it again after the second time of Plain, because it's, like, not for me, and I'd already been sober for so long, I just couldn't really find the joy in it, like, and I think maybe that was, like, the turning point for me, like, not enjoying those things. And so I moved and I spent a lot of time with my family and my kid, and I'm like a couple years in now, so it's easier. But I just, like, I don't want to make friends. I don't want to, like, go out. I don't want to do all these things anymore. I don't, I just kind of, like, put it literally out of my mind, and it doesn't bother me to see it on TV anymore. I know that it's an unsustainable life, and I, like, live with my family. Like, I couldn't, like, hide it from them. I don't want to. I just don't want to anymore. I don't see it as being something that's possible. And that kind of helps. And so there's that. And then, somebody asked me too how you kick in, like, jail, and you just do it. Like, where I was, they lock you in your cell for, like, 7 days until it's over with. I lost my shit in there when I was detoxing. I, tried to, like, hang up. Well, I did, and I ended up in the hospital for that, but they were doing around. I don't know how, I was so messed up. Listen, I don't even know how I did it. I, like, did it sitting down, but, like, the lean, whatever, I'm not going to get into that. But that happened, and then, like, I was, like, fighting people. Like, I, like, took a bottle off the officer's desk and, like, hit a girl in the head with it. Like, I was, like, going crazy, and they were, like, coming off of drugs. And it took months, like, months of hell, and it was, like, the worst this last time that I had ever been through, and that is probably my karma. So yeah, that's kind of how that happened, and I am gonna go through some of these and find, like, specific events there. There was, like, a lot of things that happened in there. I'll tell you guys a story real quick. So where I was, like, officers were getting kicked out, like, right and left. They were getting walked out. But one thing that happened was people were, like, really spray happy with, like, the pepper spray. And we were in the mess hall, and they always treated our unit like shit anyways. And somebody got up to go dump their tray and leave because they had to go on a movement, and lunch was called late. And they were, like, telling them to sit down, and they, like, wouldn't sit down. At that point, like, you know you're not gonna win, but whatever. So, like, 2 other people got up, and they ended up spraying everybody in the mess hall. Everybody got it. And we all had to get, like, escorted, like, back up to the unit. And when we did, everybody had to lock in. So the girl across from me, there's, like, one girl, like, across from me, and then one, like, right next to her. So, like, they're diagonal from me. And she was, like, pounding on the door because she had to go somewhere for, like, an appointment or whatever, like, in the RMU. And she kept saying, like, I'm gonna light fires, right? People light fires in there. So they either, like, light tampons and start chucking them out underneath their door, or they actually will, like, light their cell on fire. And this girl kept saying it, and everybody was screaming, and it was a nightmare, and everybody was, like, so imagine, like, a bunch of people just caged in behind doors, and everybody's banging on these metal doors, and people start lighting fires, right? So she was yelling, and then all of a sudden, we're all, like, looking at our doors at the same time to kind of see, like, what's going on, why we've been locked in for so long, just because, like, 3 people, I mean, they really aren't supposed to do that, but flames start shooting out of the one diagonal from me cell on the side. And, like, at this point, it's like there's no one to the right of me. There's one girl, Amanda, to the left of me, and she's at work. So, like, I'm the only person who's seeing this right now. So I started screaming at my door, like, this person's cell's on fire, and they were in it, right? So this is, like, somebody who never should have been on the unit, because they have, if you have, like, really severe mental health, you're supposed to be in, like, ICP or something, or it's called SNU is another one. But I was like screaming. I was like, hello, like this person's like cell is on fire. Like they're on fucking fire. And it took them mad long to come down with the fire extinguishers. And they finally opened the door and they put out the fire. And I mean, the entire room was black. There was, even to this day, they probably didn't clean it. Like the cell is like no longer usable. It's done. Like people can't go in there. It's blocked off. The kid ended up in the hospital for a while. They were like, I don't know if they had like burns like bad all over, but I couldn't see that. Like when they ended up emptying out the unit, so we all had to go out and like go out into the rec yard while they were like airing it out because there was like so much smoke, and like they had to like clean up all the stuff from the fire extinguisher, and like nobody could breathe and it was a mess, and people were like dropping in the yard after. Like when I saw there was a lot of smoke, there was like, this was like not a small fire. People were like dropping in the yard, like as we were waiting for the unit to clear out. And this other lady had like went into like a diabetic shock at the same time. And then they start bringing the kid out. He was brought out last. It was one of the transgender people. And I call him he still because he like came there as a woman, but still wanted to be identified as a male. So that's why I'm doing that. But so he was like on the ground, like covered in like fire extinguisher stuff, and like couldn't breathe, and the officers were really treating him like shit. And like he's got issues. Like, yeah, it's wrong. You could have like killed everybody, but and himself, like sometimes those doors don't open. They're like computerized. They're not like they slide on things. But yeah, so that was crazy. I'm sure I have that somewhere in my journals. I'm sure I have stuff about like fights, all that stuff too that I could tell you about. There was another thing that was common in there was like people like boiling stuff and then dumping it on people. But a lot of the time it was fun. A lot of the time like we found a way to like really get along with each other and make things a good time and fun. And we had like dance battles on New Year's, and people like drink hooch all the time, and like smoke cigarettes, hang out. Like we would smoke cigarettes like in the kitchen and the bathrooms and everywhere. Like you could smoke in the uppers. You're not supposed to, but they don't really give a shit. And so we did. But yeah, I'm gonna have to tell you guys more about those things. But some of you guys were just kind of asking about my sobriety, and somebody else had said too, like how do I feel knowing that I like duped a bunch of people? And like that wasn't my intention, was to dupe anybody. I didn't have an intention about like this at all. Like I was just, that's kind of like how using drugs works. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, sometimes you're sober, sometimes you're not, until you finally get clean for real. And if I had mentioned like every relapse, I mean, I probably could have. I don't know. I don't know why I didn't. But they said, do you sleep better at night knowing you're a liar? And I had to forgive myself for everything that I did, because I like beat myself up over it for a long time. And if I'm going to shit on myself for the times that I was using on here and not talking about it, I need to equally give myself credit for the times that I was sober. So that's how I feel. I guess I don't see it the same way that that person does. And I don't feel like I was fooling very many people. Like, yeah, it's wrong to lie, but like that's kind of what addicts do, and that's what I was doing. But I feel like I wasn't really fooling many people. But those are a couple of the questions that you guys had asked, and I gotta go through and look for more. But I haven't gone through like any of my comments on my older videos since I got out. It kind of just started fresh. But yeah, so anything else? You guys know my mind works like this. It's like all over the place. So when I go through these and think of more things, I'll tell you guys about it more. But I hope you guys had a great Halloween and everybody stayed safe. Listen, I know I had a good time. Okay, I'm not, maybe this is bad, because like one of the things that I learned, okay, so about getting sober, see, sporadic, I think shock did a lot for me. It was the shock program. They taught me a lot. It's drilled in my mind, like if you lie, you're one step away from a relapse, lying. And so I've worked on that a lot. And but on Halloween, I put a mask on and I pretended that I was a kid. And I'll show you what I got. Hold on. Look at it. I think they knew though. They knew. They knew, guys. day meal. But I went, I had to go. I went with my kid and it was fun. And like, I was reliving my inner childhood, okay? Don't judge me. But, yeah, so we had a good time. And, yeah, that's about it. My foot appointment was ridiculous. You guys remember I had that boot on my foot for like mad long. Like, it was definitely broken. I don't know what I said about why it broke originally, but I had jumped. Well, I didn't mean to like jump like that, but I had landed on a metal pole jumping off a balcony in my backyard and running from the cops because my ex at the time called the cops on me and said that I was selling drugs. So I went to go out the front door and he like grabbed my shirt and then I went, oh no, I went to go out there and okay, so he grabbed my shirt, I ripped away, got down, realized I didn't have like any shoes on, went back up, got my shoes, looked out the window, saw the cops were there, as I was outside realizing I had shoes, I saw that he was going down around the back. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go around the back. And I jumped and shattered my ankle and had to army crawl back through the parking lot and rolled into a ditch and then waited for like 4 hours and then called for a ride, went to the hospital, foot was broken, talus bone. And yeah, so they said at my appointment when I had like, I was supposed to get surgery on this, like when I was in prison, they were gonna do joint replacement and everything. I was supposed to get plates and screws. Like I have all my medical records from this. They were like, no, we can't even see where the break ever was in your foot. We can't see like anything. We're just gonna have to send you pain management. I'm like, what? Like that's not possible, okay? Like you guys are the worst. So went through that, gonna find somebody else because I mean, the state wasn't gonna pay for a whole like joint replacement if it wasn't necessary when I was in there. But anyways, that's it for right now. And I will probably upload again maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I got a lot to do. Tyler, my kid, acting crazy lately. Missed like a ton of homework this week. He's a great kid, but like missed a ton of homework this week and we gotta like get back on track. And he's gonna be home kind of soon. So, yeah, gonna try and upload tomorrow, but I feel like I'm gonna be doing a lot tonight of makeup assignments. I told him he had to get them all today. So hopefully he does. But yeah, that's about it. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow, whatever. Listen, I need to find a good show to watch. If any of you guys know a good show, leave it down below. And if you're new and you haven't been here before, you should subscribe because sometimes we have a really good time here. All right, love you, bye.